Hello everybody, welcome back to the stream. We are going to be painting Laudna from our last stream. So last week what we did was we sketched out Laudna's designs. I believe I still have the sketches underneath. Yes, I do. So we took the paper design that I did on pencil and paper, and we sussed out the proportions, made them a little better, a little more accurate. See that here with these blue lines. And then finally, we drew some cleaner line art on top. That way, when we paint today, everything should look smooth and crisp. Now, before I begin, I just want to make sure that my audio levels are good. Anyone in the chat, while you're listening, please let me know how the audio is sounding, if the music is too low or if the music is too loud. Say the word. Also, if I'm coming in too hot, like if my mic is too loud, let me know as well. Okay, so while you guys are down there, let me know, and I'm going to get started. Ooh, maybe make the music a little lower. Sure thing, I can do that. 1 second. There we go. How's the music sound now? Is that good? Like as I talk, is the music overpowering? Or is that too low for the music? And while you guys are catching up, I'm going to move this chat box a little higher. Music's too low? Okay, how about here? Is that a nice happy medium? How's the music sound for that? I'm gonna move this chat box just a wee bit higher. There we go. I think that's pretty good for a chat box. Alright, thank you, Tifine. I appreciate your help and your honesty. Okay, so let's get started then. So, what I do whenever I paint, I try to get my flats down at first. And if you don't know what I mean by flats, I mean the basic color scheme of the character. So Laudna has a lot of blacks, reds, and grays. Very monochromatic design almost. So I try to figure out what that would look like translated onto the screen here. So, for example, I have her character sheet pulled up. She has dark reds, almost like burgundy. So on my little color slider up here, this triangular shape, I'm going to pick something in the reds, which is over here. I can slide that over to make the colors different. For example, over here will be in the blues, the greens, the yellows, the reds. And I'm going to pick something a little on the darker side of red. Something... There's no such thing as cool red, is there? I don't believe that is such a thing. I want deep, dark, moody red. And I need to turn off my stabilizer. Because since we're painting, we don't need a stabilizer. That's only for cleans and line arts. And then my size, we're going to need way more than 5 pixels for this. We're going to max this out to maybe 45. No, we need bigger. 164, there we go. And so that's just for the top. The top is going to be a dark red. And she has patterns on her shirt that I completely avoided because I'm not a fan of that as far as my art style goes. I'm translating this. I'm not like doing a one-to-one drawing of the official character art. I think that's boring. Make art your own if you can, you know? That's my opinion. So let's see. It's almost purple from what I can. Anyway, let's color this out. You know, that's almost purple. Oh no! Did I paint on the wrong layer? I absolutely did, didn't I? Nope, I didn't. Okay. I'm just freaking myself out. This is just a really, really dark color, so the line almost blended it. So, keeping that in mind, I should probably change this later. So pretty much it's like treating this almost like a coloring book. You just try to color in between the lines. For certain cases, I personally don't care about coloring between the lines. Sometimes what I do is I just make it nice and messy, like so, and then I'll take my eraser and I'll just clean it up a little more later, like that. I like to do that on occasion. Also have a new drawing glove as well, and I'm testing that out on Krita specifically. I just use it on Storyboard Pro, and I still have a few issues with it, but for the most part, it's a lot better than my old drawing glove. Nice. That one was giving me nothing but issues. So far, so good. So, I like to zoom in extra good, that way I get these colors as accurate as possible. Sometimes you'll see like a little thing pop up over here, or at least it does on my screen. I don't know if it translates to Streamlabs, but that is my actual hand showing up on screen, and that's the amount of pressure I'm putting on my tablet. That's what the glove is for, to prevent the tablet from registering multiple touches instead of just a touch of the pen. So if your tablet is having that issue where your hand is getting picked up a lot and your drawing pen, I recommend getting a art glove. Probably get one better than I got. I got like a cheapy one on Amazon for like $8 for a pack of 4. I mean, pack of 4 is not bad for $8. But I am still having issue. I don't, whoa, just like that. That's the issue I'm talking about. I don't normally have issues with this until recently with my tablet, especially if you know, go away. If you've seen the last stream, I was wrestling with this thing the entire time, and that wasn't fun to deal with. But it's a lot better now, that's for sure. And so, the way that I paint, I'm very simple with my coloring. I try not to do too many different techniques. Oh, I need that to stop. Still getting used to this glove. Maybe I just need to hold my hand a little differently. But yeah, I'm still getting used to this sort of setup here. I have everything on a desktop computer instead of solely on my tablet. We'll work that out. Yeah, how I paint specifically, or color in this case, is I do very simple flats. And then I'll get the whole thing figured out. I'll have a rough base color figured out for every layer of clothing, such as her top is going to be a totally different color from her bottoms or her skirt dress. It's a dress, right? Because it only goes up to like her ankles. I know clothing. Why does this keep happening? I need this to end, please. Go away. There we go. I think it's my pinky constantly rubbing on the screen is the problem. I know lefties have this issue with physical media. I don't know if righties have this issue. But I paint very simply because painting has always been one of the most challenging parts of being an artist for me. Color direction, lighting, all that stuff has always been a struggle. And so my colors are either extra muted or extra saturated. Painting physically is a nightmare for me. Like, I just can't even wrap my head around how people paint so good. Shout out to my buddy Ren. I've been looking at his Instagram pictures lately, and he is so damn good at painting. I believe his screen name is Acetone, but spelled with a 4 instead of an A. Let me double check that real quick. I don't want to accidentally shout out the wrong person. This needs to stop. Dude, pop. Quick. Yeah, so his name is Acetone, but spelled like Forcetone. 4-C-E-T-O-N-E. Check him out if you appreciate the arts. Dude's real good. He's been doing like a painting every day practically. They're coming out fantastically. But for me, I don't really do physical painting. I mostly do digital, and even then, it's the most bare bones, simplistic way to paint on a digital medium. And I've taken tons of tutorials on how to like get better and get textures in there and all these different tones and such. And different types of brush strokes in there, and I'm just like, I can't even. So I figured out a method that works for me over many years of struggling. And it doesn't have to necessarily work for you. This is what I do. Everything I do here, take with a grain of salt. This is just what works for me. I just like to do color flats. And if I can get my color flats down, the rest of the painting pretty much figures itself out. So note that I am going over this little line here for her dress, or her blouse, her top, which will be a completely different color. I'm thinking making it like a solid gold, or I believe it was purple. Let me pull up the reference. No, it's like a bright scarlet red, a little bit of yellow thrown in there. So what I may do is I may mess with the line art just a smidge and add some gold trim and just make this middle part just scarlet red. But I'll do that later. That's something that we figured out at the end. Yeah, see here, I am going above the lines here, like I'm coloring past the hand. I'm trying not to color where her skin is, like where her chest is. I'm trying not to, because that's where I want her flesh color to be, obviously. But as far as her hand goes, since that's going to be in front of her top, I'm not too worried about coloring that in. I'm just going to color directly above that anyway. Oh, hello, Vanilla. Nice to see you joining us on stream. Vanilla is my cat, by the way. And she is already vibrating. She is purring like a truck. I don't know if the microphone can pick that up. Let me see. Let me go back to Streamlabs real quick. No, it can't. Cool. My leveler won't pick that up. Hey, don't mess with my cables, girl. Those are daddy's cables. Leave those alone. Go find your mother. I can't play with you right now. Daddy's streaming. No! Go back. So I'm not gonna, these things need to stop. I'm not gonna worry about coloring the hand right now. I'm just gonna color directly over it. That's gonna be a totally separate layer. So when I'm changing colors, I tend to do them on different layers. Layers are your best friend. I know some people like to name their layers. I do not, because I am a chaotic mess, and I embrace that. As long as the layers are obviously put on specific places, like organized in a specific order, I'm pretty much straight. And I can figure that out. But that's also because I'm the only one working on these. If I had to hand these off to someone else, I would absolutely label them, I would name them, and have them in a very particular order. I believe I can put these in folders. Like each layer can be in folders, but I have not tried that in so long I can barely remember. I know I can do that on Storyboard Pro, but I don't know if I can do that on Creative. I know painting used to relax a lot of people, or people use it to relax. It stresses me out, honestly. Especially physical painting. It makes me so angry sometimes because I'm just wrestling with the paint, wrestling with the color, the oil's not mixing the way I want it to. Stop it. And it's just a total ordeal for me. I know some people who get it down pat and just have that groove figured out and they just go and they just get all zen about it. It only makes me seethe rage. Oh, hello, Miss Perfectly Splendid. Nice to see you again. Painting her fully, I will try. I will try to do as much as I can within a 2-hour period. Right now, I'm just doing color flats. That's fine. And trying to get that figured out throughout the whole piece. I personally don't like to spend too much time with my paintings because I personally think I'm bad at painting. And I like to do flats with general lights, like general lighting, general shading. And from there, I'm pretty much good. If I want to add more to that, I will, but that's for a piece that like I'm planning to take forever. This one I'm only going to take in 2-hour bursts. I don't foresee this picture taking more than, hopefully this stream, one more stream at the most. But hopefully everything will be done after today. But we shall see. I'm pretty simplistic with my colors. This can go. Maybe I need a thicker glove. I don't know. These are pretty thin, the ones I'm wearing. Maybe that's the problem. But they feel nice. But this keeps happening. I mean, it's not terrible. It actually is saving me slightly more. You'll be painting all details in the next stream? Maybe. I'm gonna try to get them done today in this stream. Like, any details I want to do, I'm mostly gonna focus on like lighting, some makeup, that sort of thing. Maybe some shine on the nails, some of the effects especially. Like, let me zoom out real quick. One thing I didn't do for the line art specifically was the effects on, God, I'm blanking on his name. Not Petrie, Derolo, Pate Derolo, that's the name. So I did not physically draw the line art for the effects on there. That's going to be totally painted in. I want to hit that as well today too. But first I want to get the flats down, and then I'll do the effects. And the effects are going to be a different layer, and tackle those. Hopefully I can get all that done today. And if I can't, I may go over a little bit, like over the 2-hour mark. And if you can't make the whole thing, feel free to watch the VOD after this is over, at your leisure, at your pace. It is all good with me. As long as you get something out of these streams, that's all I care about. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get as much done as possible. Yeah, I just gotta find that zone that my friends normally have when they paint. Find that zen place. Keep going. I mean, painting digitally doesn't stress me out that much. The only thing that stresses me out is my pen not registering. I want it to register. There we go. That's fine. You gotta roll with those buttons. You can stop. And if I had a drinking game of every time my pen does something I don't want it to, I would not be alive at the end of these streams. But hey, that's life though. Not everything goes according to plan. You gotta adapt and overcome, you know? At least from my experience. I can hear my cat vibrating from out of my streaming door, a little computer room door. That's why I call it when she purrs. I call it vibrating. It's totally okay to paint outside the lines because I can always just clean that up in a bit. Let me zoom in more. There we go. Depending on the picture, I get like real close, like pixel close. Make these things pristine. It really just depends on my mood, honestly, and how perfect I want this to be. And I've been trying to curve that lately. Otherwise, I spend way too much time. Yeah, I do have a cat. It is a cat. I can word. She is a tabby cat. She was white when we found her. We found her at maybe 2 weeks old, like still kind of too young to take her from her parent, but she was abandoned. And we found her and adopted her. Her name is Vanilla because she was a pure white cat at the time. and she completely owns the house, or the apartment. She pretty much runs the whole place. Whatever she says goes. Whenever she needs food, she gets it. Whenever she needs pets, the world stops until she gets her pets. Totally spoiled. Although she does follow commands for the most part, so that's good. Mostly commands like stop, or put that down, or hey, what are you doing? You know? Pretty much she knows when she's in trouble. That sounds like a cat, yep. Absolutely. I was a dog guy for most of my life until I adopted Vanilla. Yeah, unfortunately, before I got her, I lost my previous dog a year prior. Come on, mouse, you can stop now. How do I stop that? Exit? Space? There we go. The space button. Yeah, I lost my dog about a year prior to adopting Vanilla, and so I wasn't ready to have a pet. I wasn't looking for one, but she sort of just plopped into my life, and here we go. Here's a new one, whether I like it or not. But yeah, she's good around. She's nice to have. Everyone loves her. Yeah, it was sad for a while, but you know, the pain goes away after a couple years. He's been gone for about 3 years now. Yeah, he was my little special little boy. But that's also the downside of having pets, is that we're always going to outlive them. What is this doing? Go. So, you always kind of know in the back of your head that it's going to happen eventually, but this one happened too soon for me. He was only 5 when he passed. He had a disease, I forget the name of it, but it essentially filled his lungs with fluid, which is normally normal for cats. It was baffling to the vets that it was happening to a dog, especially a dog of his age. It normally happens to cats like pushing 20, and there was no way to save him. So, fortunately, he lasted as long as he could. He put up a good fight. But yeah, I always remember this one. He has this picture in my library. I'll never forget him. But yeah, I'm not ready for a dog for a while. Not till like I get a house, some yard space, and that's still gonna be some time. But hey, you have a pet at home, make sure that they know they're appreciated. Give them some treats if they like treats. My cat hates treats. He is the pickiest eater. He will not eat anything that's not her normal, ever. Unless it's plastic. He loves to try to eat plastic. Just gotta finish coloring this elbow here, and we can probably move on to another color. We've probably been sticking with this red forever. Do a long stroke. Bam, there we go. Now the downside to painting on Krita is that it's pixel based, which means that I have to cover every single inch of this picture. Whereas if this whole thing was vector based, it's literally just a click of a button to color in some of these sealed off lines here. Like for example, I used to paint on an animation program when I first started coloring. I would paint on Toon Boom. By paint, I literally mean just clicking the paint bucket, does an autofill, boom, you're done. And so all I really had to worry about was just a color scheme. And as long as my lines were collected, or not collected, as long as my lines were connected, it would pretty much do all the hard work for me. Although it didn't look that special, it looked like clip art sometimes, you know? But that was a decent way for me to get my feet wet as far as digital coloring. I know some programs allow you to do that now, like Clip Studio Paint, I'm sure does that. But Krita is not good at its auto bucket fill. It's kind of trash at that. So this works for me. I can get as detailed as I want, I just choose not to. I'm not going to color, or I'm not going to erase a lot of the overdrawn, overcolored lines on the belt, because that's going to be a different layer. color on the belt is going to go directly over that. Now, this one, this is fine. We're going to color directly on the hand anyway. So for now, we are good with the shirts. However, I am going to skip a step. I normally do this last. I'm going to change the color of the shirt to be just a tad lighter because it's coming out too dark for my taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to filter up top. I'm going to go to adjust, and Hsv Adjustment. And this will allow me to change the color. For example, the hue up here, I can change it to a completely different shade of color. The saturation, as in like how much red is in this color. Just how much color is in this color, to put it confusingly. And then the lightness, so I can make it extra bright or extra dark. So I normally do this last so I can balance out the colors that I choose, because again, I'm terrible at just eyeballing these things. I want the saturation to be a little higher. It sounds good, and the lightness to be a little brighter. Not too bright, otherwise it's going to turn more gray. And then let's see. No, the hue is fine. The hue is fine. So let's make it more saturated and a little lighter. A little less saturated, because I remember it was slightly purpley. From a distance, I'm still not a fan of it. Let's try... If I go this way, it'll be a little more blue. That's okay. Not bad. Let's see, that was 14, let's go for 7. Or 8. Let's go for 8. That's fine. Saturate it a little more. Brighten it up a little bit. Too much. That's fine. We can stick with this for now. And so what I'm going to do, control, that's the button I want. I'm going to do this little baster thingy. I call it a turkey baster. I think it's just the eyedropper. And I'm just going to color it a little bit. That way the color will show up over yonder in this little corner, so I can click select it. This was the color that it used to be. This is the color that I'm making it now. Are you going to draw a background as well? For these, I don't think I'm going to draw a background. That's going to be too much work for a 2-hour stream. I'm pretty much going to just leave either the background white or gray for the most part. Coloring background is going to be a totally different. And I should have prepared for a background beforehand. Normally, I don't like to color until my background is figured out if I decide to do a background. But for these, no. What you may notice sometimes is that artists will probably have like a big old square in their background. Because it's simple, easy. Like they may have something along the lines of, let's say, let's make a purple one, because I'll pretty much complement her color scheme. They may do something like this to sort of break up the monotony of the character. Will my color fill work here? Aha, it does. So this isn't what I'm going to have finalized, but sometimes they'll have something like this in their background to just make it easy, especially if you're just doing a color portrait or a character portrait. And they'll probably make it offset, like they may put one over here or over here. They may do something like that. I may do that after everything's done, but I don't plan on doing a background, no. Let's make all that go. Okay, so the shirt is finished. Now, let me look at character design again. And so the skirt, mostly like a gray. So we're going to be coloring over pate, we're going to color over the scissors and everything. We're just going to make this whole section black, so I'm going to be coloring over that directly. And I'm going to put that underneath the shirt because I feel like that would be a good spot. Like physically, since the color is going to be below the shirt, I'm going to have it below the shirt on the layer as well. But if people are watching, I should probably be smart and put line art I'm not just clicking through all my stuff. Label my things. Top. Skirt. I know it's probably like a dress, but I'm a skirt. Just a long skirt. I don't know the nomenclature for clothing, you guys. But anyway, so it's going to be a gray, but I want it to be like a warm gray. By warm, I mean closer to the red spectrum of gray instead of the blue spectrum. That's called cool. And it's a little self-explanatory. Red is more of a hot, energetic color. Cool is more of a relaxed, low-key color. Yeah, I want her picture to be mostly warm. And whoa, what is that? Go away. Anyway, I want her to be mostly warm, and then I'm going to contrast that with her cold, clammy, dead skin. That needs to stop. There we go. How about I just do longer stroke? Nope. See, that's because my palm keeps rubbing up against my tablet. What if I hold my tablet with two hands? Would that help? It does, actually. I'll just do that. It'll be like I'm sketching with an actual sketch thing. Sketchpad. No words. No, there we go again. That's fine. We're going to work with these mistakes, these happy little accents. We're going to just roll with these. Oh, but I need to zoom in. I can't see from here. My screen is too small. I have a small screen. There we go. One day I would like to buy one of those big old fat Cintiqs, but them things cost too much money for me right now. Because even though I can afford it, it would not be wise for me to dump that kind of money on that kind of tech. At least not yet. Later. Okay, if you're watching and you are a beginner artist or a college student or any kind of student like elementary school, middle school, what have you, you don't need super fancy expensive stuff to get the job done. What matters most is you, your skills, and how much are you willing to teach yourself, how much you're willing to learn from your instructors or through tutorials and such. The amount of time and effort you're willing to put into it, your tech, mostly does not matter. It'll mostly give you issues. It's like I knew a lot of my professors who hated that students already knew how to paint digitally and did not know how to paint physically. Because they're like, oh, it's gonna give you bad habits and blah blah blah, and you're gonna be so used to having the undo button. I'm like, the undo button is the most wonderful thing on this earth. I don't know what you're talking about. Because when it comes to physical painting, you're going to make mistakes. They happen all the time. It's just you have to learn to adapt to them and apply them to your picture. So, for example, if you accidentally splash the wrong color here, you can correct it with more paint. But, you know, obviously differently. And sometimes those happy little accidents actually turn out to be kind of beneficial because you'll realize something about your picture that you wouldn't have if you did make that accident. And so they thought, like, by doing this digitally, you're ruining the integrity of your education or your skills and all of that. But I've seen some wonderful artists that never even touched a brush before. They only touched the digital stuff. The skills are not isolated, you know? Like, they go hand in hand for both. So I never understood that. Because in my opinion, if you're going to be a digital artist and you know you're going to stay digital and only pretty much use the digital medium, stick with that, you know? Go to physical paint if you really want to, but if you don't have to, don't even worry about it. Hello, Sunarish. Nice to see you again. Hope you enjoy the stream for what it is. This is one of our chiller streams. I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I went to one of those art schools. I was like, you gotta appreciate all of art. Like, all the basics: sculpting, ceramics, woodwork, printing, painting, all that stuff. Like, that's fine and all, but like, I was there for animation. When can I make the cartoons? You know? Well, you need the foundations to do all of that stuff. I'm like, I guess. In my opinion, you just need to know how to at least draw something. Like, you don't even have to draw well to animate well, you know? You just have to have an idea of what you want to do. If anything, the knowledge of filmmaking will be helpful for animation. All the artistic stuff you can figure out later. Like, there are some really popular cartoons and really good cartoons that artistically a little lacking, but it's the story, it's the writing, it's the characters. Those are the things that people care about. I mean, if it's ugly, people probably aren't going to look at it. But if it looks great, like it looks gorgeous, but it has no substance behind it, people definitely won't look at it. You know what I mean? They're both important. But in my opinion, I don't think you need to know everything to get started with filmmaking. And for those of you who aren't aware, I have an animation background. I went to school for animation and graduated from it. And that's how I started doing storyboards. I did it spawning from my animation school. And even though I pride myself as an animator, I have not actually animated in like 2 years. Like, since I started storyboarding, I started realizing, it's like, you know what? I could technically animate so much more. Sort of. By just doing boards and making animation. Instead of spending like 4 months on something that's 2 minutes long, I could spend like a week and get it done at such a faster rate. And my whole idea would still be there. It would still come across just fine. And so I was able to pump out so many stories in such a faster rate than I ever could just simply animate. Beautifully said. I don't remember what I said. I'm just talking. I'm just saying how I feel. What was I talking about? See, I'm already in that Zen mode. I'm just going. Yeah, it's totally fine if we color over Pate. He's gonna get his own layer. It's totally fine if we color over these belts. Those are also gonna get their own layer. We're gonna take this chunk by chunk. That's the way we're gonna do things here. I know some artists like to paint on only like a layer or two and no more than that. I like to paint with several. Sometimes you'll find my layers will go up to like 90. Okay, no, I lie. That's mostly for when I was storyboarding on these things. I used to storyboard on Krita. I probably don't go past like 20. That's for like little intricacies. Like, how many knickknacks do they have in their person? Like, the belt's gonna be its own layer. The pouch is gonna be its own layer. The button's gonna be on its own layer. The scissors is its own layer. The yarn's its own layer. Because they're not gonna be the same color. So that's how I like to do things. Everything that's a different color will be a totally new layer. Why can't I do this thing that I'm trying to do? There we go. Too many things are close to the screen at once. Oop. Oop. Awesome. Back to. But yeah, if anyone's watching these things for like expert painting advice, I'm sorry, I'm not that guy. I do things as simply as possible because that's what works for me. Again, being from an animation background, I need to do things quickly. I don't like to spend too much time on one thing. And I don't have a lot of people to point out to as far as like who you can go to for painting advice. I mean, if you look up those folks on YouTube for like digital paint and all that stuff, you'll probably find some good people. I just don't have the patience for it. Yeah, you guys will see as soon as this thing is done. It'll be very, very simple. Flats with some shading and some lighting. And of course, the effects for pate stream. That'll be fun. And that's honestly just taking what I already know about normal painting and just applying it to digital. Like the brush strokes and all that stuff. That's actually going to apply really well to the. And again, you don't need to go to art school for that sort of thing. You can just figure out through trial and error. That's how I learned most of these things. Like, it's just trial and error. I mean, honestly, that's how painting is. You just keep painting and you get better just from messing up and learning and not doing what I just did. And just keep going, you know? Man, you guys should have seen some of the garbage I used to put out my digital colors years ago. It was bad. None of it really clicked for me until I took one course in school where they had us do the alphabet. And for every letter of the alphabet, we had to paint something that represented that alphabet letter. Like, for example, if you pick the letter L, you can do like a lake. The letter A can be apple, blah, blah, blah. But it had to be like a theme, you know? Like some people picked cities. They would paint cities that have that letter. So I don't even know what city starts with an A. Albuquerque? Is that a city? Or is that like a... That's a city. So they'll like paint the skyline of Albuquerque. I, however, was a giant nerd, and still a giant nerd, and I painted creatures from the monster manual. So, A was Aarakocra, B was Beholder, obviously, C was a, I forget the name of it. I think it was like that weird lobster thing with all the tentacle mouths. It was a long time ago. God, no it wasn't. It was like 2 years ago. Yeah, that was fun. I didn't get through all of it. I only needed, I think like up to V. Or not V. It was some random letter. I think the last one I did was Succubus. I got to S, so I didn't need all of them. I'm just gonna roll with this. This is irritating me. And whoa, go back. I'm not gonna roll with that then. I'm gonna correct that now. Yeah, the last one I did was Succubus, so I didn't need to do all 26 letters. I think I only need like 18 or something like that. But yeah, doing all of those really just hammered in these painting skills for creative. And so I value that class. That was probably the best painting class I've ever had. Although the first couple projects was physical painting, and that was awful. I was definitely like bottom of the class for those. How are you even in school? No. Oh, I have not checked chat in a bit. But yeah, you can totally get in school and do background arts. I did something called, what was it? What was the name of that class? I don't remember the name of it, but essentially that's all we did. We pretty much went outside. We looked at buildings, we looked at landscapes, we looked at all sorts of things in life, and we just sketched what we saw. And that was pretty much background class, you know? And what you could do from there is you'll take your drawings, whether they be in pen or pencil, and you can apply that to digital as well. And that was pretty much the basics of that. And I actually had some friends that took that whole concept and made that their entire artistic portfolio, and they actually got work at some pretty big studios just doing background art. Like, being a background artist is it's a whole profession, and they get paid really well. And honestly, I feel like they're underappreciated, because without them, the shows that we work on, the shows that we see, they would not look anywhere near as good without. Shoot, I was even a part of this small animation group in school for Animation 3. You always had to, for my school in Animation 3, you were always partnered up with a group of students to do a small short film. And I was in charge as the producer of that film, so pretty much like the people manager to make sure everyone had what they needed to get their job figured out and make sure that they felt appreciated and stuff. That way, you know, to keep the morale up. And I always made sure that my background artists were appreciated because, man, they did a lot of heavy lifting for that little bit. Always respect your background artists because, man, without them, your piece is nothing. Like, I was just watching, what's the movie? Princess Mononoke? And there's tons of background art that is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. And it would not be the same without. Let's see. Monster Manual for D&D. Yes, the Monster Manual for D&D I used as a drawing project where I had to draw and paint one monster for every letter of the alphabet up to, I believe, S. And that was really fun. Very taxing, but fun. And I enjoyed it. The project for the background art stuff? Yes. So in the class, the project was to make a short film as long as we want, as complicated as we want. And we had 2 background artists, and they were fantastic, and they're amazing, and I'll always say that about them. They are, to this day, still fantastic. And yeah, that was a whole class. We spent 4 months just making a short film, and our 2 background artists just went nuts and cranked out everything I asked them to. And it was great. Let's see. Let's name this skirt. So that's 2 colors, right? Okay. Next, we're gonna do this skin. Let's get that skin figured out. So her skin is going to be on the grayer side of things, but we're going to make it cool. We're going to move our little wheel over here. Blue. And we're actually going to make her skin slightly blue. Not like that. There we go. No, not like that. Like that. There we go. Cooperate with me, tablet. Thank you. So we're gonna start with this little bit of blue here. Now this looks like it's straight out of one of my old markers from school. So notice how when I paint over her shirt, nothing happens. That's because the layer beneath here is under her shirt. However, if I put the layer on top, it is like that. Boom. But I think I kind of screwed myself because I just said that her hand is going to be on top of the shirt. So let's do that. Let's put her skin over the shirt. And we're just going to erase that when we clean it. She's looking a little bit like Hsv from Naruto. Looking like a shark lady, especially with those teeth. So I'm picking a cool gray because I'm trying not to make this stupid Simpsons reference where they say cadaverific. Ah, I hated that. But yeah, so she is not entirely a flesh and blood human being. She of an undead nature. So I think having a slight blue tint, kind of like a Widowmaker from Overwatch, but not that dang blue. Giving the gray just a little bit of blue will add to her complexion. But I kind of don't like it being this blue, so we're gonna fix that in a second. I just want to clean up these little bleeds over here. Or the color bleeds over. Here we go. Yeah, we've been at this for about 50 minutes. We may not be able to do too fancy. This may be a 3-week stream, actually. But we shall see. If you guys are watching at home on the VOD, you'll figure that out shortly, depending on how much we finish and what the thumbnail looks like. But I'm hoping we can get a ton done today. Why did my opacity go down? Probably from this glove. So yeah, if we do end up going to a third stream, I am going to mostly focus on little extra details and stuff. Just to make it, you know, extra fan. As much as I like keeping things simple, sometimes make a little fanciness to it. As to the picture. Why is there a square here? Copy. Hold the phone. What is happening here? Why is it copy? Did I accidentally copy something? Unintentionally. I think I did. Instead of the skin, I made a copy. Okay, so here is what I'm going to do. I am going to erase the skirt on this layer. Seriously, why is there a square there? I don't understand. This tool only works on vector layers? What vector layer happened here? My glove accidentally hit something that I didn't want it to hit. Probably. And nothing is happening. Get rid of this square. Okay, I'm going to do one thing at a time. But firstly, and I moved. There we go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this skirt. I'm going to erase the crap out of that. Clean up this layer. And then I'm going to restart Krita. And hopefully this little square goes away. Because it's bugging the crap out of me. No. That way, it's just the skin, no skirt at all. Let's see. A bit of. There's a little bit of color off screen, a little bit of color below screen. We don't want that. Cool, that's a lot better. That way it's only picking up the stuff that I painted. Now I'm going to save this. I should have saved this before. And I'm going to close out Krita. So it's probably going to go black for a second. But I'm going to turn it right back on. And then I'm going to open Krita once more. Oh, okay. So the square isn't even on Krita itself. It's on my actual desktop. So the desktop is the problem. It doesn't even show up on screen. I'm seeing it. I'm the only person who sees the square. I'm just a psycho. Okay. We'll forget that ever happened. So, skirt. That is not a skirt. That is skin. Not skirt. Skin. Squares are cool. I'm more of a triangle guy myself, personally. I actually hear triangles are the most aggressive shape that humans react to, apparently. And I don't know what that says about me. Okay, so we're going to clean this up over here. And you guys can't see this square. I can see it. I am do my best to ignore it. On screen, it's literally right here. Like, it is right here. Nope. There's the thing. The square is literally right here. There we go. And it's bugging the crap out of me. But luckily you guys can't see. Just pretend. And here accuracy is going to be important. Kind of like line art. but I'm not gonna do, whoa. What is all that? What happened here? Did I open this up a whole bunch? Close. Close. I opened this up 3 times. So what we're gonna do is instead of using the stabilizer, we're just gonna keep zooming in. We're gonna freehand. That way. Make sure that the color over. Don't lose any skin color. I noticed that. Oh no, I have a sneeze coming. Oh, hold it in. I noticed that some of these did not get colored in. Fine. Then we're gonna color this hand. I personally hate drawing hand, like most people. But one of those things you gotta just keep doing. Live and learn. Ah, no! Go away. Yeah, triangles, for whatever reason, we register them as aggressive shapes. Like spear tips, arrowheads, those are all triangles, and those hurt. Those are made to hurt things. Spikes, like crappy spikes, knives, all things that hurt tend to have a triangular shape, and so we just register that as like dangerous and aggression. However, soft things tend to have a circular shape. Like most cute things tend to have a circular shape. Like what's something that's cute? Like a cute little penguin stuffed animal thingy will probably be round and squishy because that is a soft, cuddly shape, and we associate round things with safety and kind of like babies. We kind of associate round things like tiny little baby things. Weird, right? Yeah, sharp edges. That's like triangles. Triangles are nothing but edges. Points and edges. But round things are safe. Round things don't really hurt. Unless it's like a dodgeball. Yeah, these are things that art directors have to think about, and just designers in general, when it comes to anything that involves shape. Like, I was gonna say internal interior design, shapes for your clothing, textures, building designs like architecture. You have to take shapes into example, especially in cartoons. You know, like for character design, shapes and silhouettes are important. If you want something to be like big and scary, you tend to make them edgy. If you want something to be soft and safe, you tend to make them round. Squares are more inviting. Yeah, it's true. There's a lot of structure to squares, the stability. I guess that's why some people find squares too plain, because it's too stable. I like squares. Squares are fine. Squares are important. Like, especially in architecture. I will eventually figure out why this keeps doing that, and I will eliminate this issue. You know what? Whatever. We're just gonna color the whole hand and say F it. And we're going to just erase later. I feel like that'll be the faster way to do this. And the less strenuous for me. You see how I can get aggressive with painting sometimes? I was definitely the angriest painter in class. Just inches away from the paint. Just glaring at it, growling. Like, why don't you do what I tell you to do, brush? I used to have dreadlocks back when I was in college, and my hair would dip into the paint sometimes, and that was a mess. I hated it. That's why I knew I had to pull back a little bit and just relax me. It's not that serious. But I'd be like, ooh, it's not doing the thing. Hair will thank you. I have much shorter hair. still long as crap, but it's so curly it looks short. I can almost tie the whole thing in a bun. Almost. Just the sides won't reach. One day. I actually had a dude who I'm assuming was from Jamaica, or I don't know, maybe he didn't have a Haitian accent, but one of the Caribbean islands. He was asking me if I'm trying to grow dreadlocks again because my hair is so curly. In segments, it almost looks like proto dreadlocks. I said no, I'm not. It's just how my hair looks. Dreadlocks are no longer. I have grown out of them. I still have the habit of like keeping hair ties around because I used to have to put my hair in a tie for years, and so whenever I see like a stray hair tie or a rubber band, it's always going around my wrist. But it's like I'm not gonna. I mean, my hair does get in my face sometimes. It's so rare that I need, or it's so rare that I even need a hair tie. Not bother anymore. Okay, so that little speck, I believe, is the shirt. There we go. Boom, okay, that's taken care of. Now back to the skin. Yeah, when you're in the zone, I don't really realize just how long painting can, you know, like normally, like when I'm painting my thumbnails for the videos, I just pick a scene that looks nice, or I make up a scene that fits the video itself, and I'll just do it. And I'll put something on in the background, and I'll just spend as much time as I need doing that. I do not actually record how long it takes me to do these little paintings. It's like, when I say I get it done in a sitting, who knows how long that is? That could be like 4 hours, 5 hours. To me, time flies. But I don't know how long it took me in real time. I just sort of stop when it's done. That's the cool thing about streaming these sort of things, that like I learn more about the way I do things. Like I never really paid attention to how I play games, or how I do art specifically. I just sort of do it. It's so different when you guide someone step by step through your process. It's like, what is my process? Is my process dumb? Am I the only one who understands my process? Because I'm weird and I made it so tailored to my needs. Does no one else do this? Those are the things that goes through my head. But yeah, finding that adjust button on Krita and the Hsv levels saves my butt for all of my drawings. I think I use that for literally every painting now. Because before I used to just completely paint over these sort of things. Like skin has always been a difficult part for me. And I never get the skin right the first time. Like even now I didn't get it right technically. And so I would just paint it over and over and over and over and over again until I figure it out. And I would spend hours trying to get the right tone down. Because lighter complexions would be too gray, dark complexions would be too dark. Muddy, you know, like just muted, and I needed more saturation, and so I'll just go over and over and over again until I got it right. But here with the Hsv thingy, almost had that. With the Hsv thing, which, dang it, with, you know, I'm just not talking. good. There you with the HSV thingy, and admittedly I don't know what that stands for, I use that for everything. You know, it's like my favorite spice. Everything gets hit with the HSV. It's just so useful, it saves so much time. That's precise painting. I'm not that precise. I'm very messy. Now, I don't know who else is watching this that is a digital painter, but also does physical media. Have you ever been on your tablet for so long, just either on Procreate or Clip Studio or whatever program you use, and you're so used to zooming in by pinching and expanding the screen that when you switch over to your notebook or your canvas and you're trying to zoom in by pinching the screen, like physically in real life? I've done that so many times. I'm like, what's wrong with me? Been doing this for too long. So one thing I'm actually looking forward to in this picture is doing her makeup, because I noticed that her lips were purple. And that's kind of accurate to cadavers. Their skin gets a little blue because it's cold. They no longer have their body temperature at 98 degrees Fahrenheit. It's basically at 0 or whatever the environment's temperature is. And so blue lips is like a common stereotype for cadavers. And I noticed that her lips are on the blue side, or technically purple. Purple is a mix between blue and red, so it's not necessarily red, it's not necessarily blue, unless you make it so. Cool purple, warm purple, that sort of thing. So I'm excited to do. I'm also terrible at makeup and designing lips. Honestly, as far as color goes, I just make them very simply, just a darker shade of their natural skin color and leave it alone. Because I'm scared to hit that makeup, you know, because I've tried it before. It just makes the lips so big and distorted, weird. They don't even look like lips, they just look at like attachments that someone has on their. Hey, that square went away. When did that happen? It's gone now. See, I pretended it wasn't there for so long, it stopped being there. That is like some cognitive stuff right there, honestly. Like, people can have total philosophical debates on that. If you don't want it to exist and you don't acknowledge it, it won't exist. It's not even there. Which I think can potentially be, depending on the subject. But we're not here for that. Fun fact, I almost minored in philosophy in college. I had 6 units left to have that on my degree or on my little smartificate, and I said no because I didn't want to pay for it and I didn't want to spend more time on things that weren't my short film, so I didn't do it. And I kind of regret not doing it because then I could be real bougie and be like, yeah, I minored in philosophy. It's literally just a conversation starter, and I wish I kind of went through with that because it is a conversation starter and it's fun. Bring back the square. I don't know how. I wouldn't if I could either. No, come back. Come back, skin color. Also, since there's more people I noticed in the chat, how is the music? Is the music a little too loud compared to my microphone? I've been trying to balance out these streams lately, as far as the audio goes. And these art streams are a little more chill. I think I'm slightly closer to my mic than normal. So I'm still testing out the levels. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat if you have an opinion on such matters. I'd appreciate. I have something against that square specifically. It's in my way. If it wasn't in my way, I'd be fine. Sounds good. Okay, cool. Because lately, when I watch the streams back, because I do that to see where I can improve and how I can make the streams better, I notice the sound design is grating for my ears specifically. I mean, I know it's my voice, and I know it's things that I'm doing, so I'm already having a bias against it. But I want these streams to get to a level where it's like taking myself out of it. When I watch me on stream, when I watch the content that I put out, and once I get to the point where I can say, yes, I would watch my stuff, I feel like I would be in a good place and I could set my goals to something else. So as of right now, the content that I'm making, like for example, these paint streams, the things I do in the gaming streams, I'm trying to make it to where I'm satisfied with their quality. I would watch it. I was not, you know. If I wasn't me, would I watch this? And we're getting there. We're getting there after every stream. We're slowly getting to that point, which I'm happy about. So now that the skin is done, I'm going to balance out the purple in the skirt, and I'm probably going to make it a little lighter. That's a little too light. If I make it saturated, ooh, that's good. Slightly dark. That's the stuff. Okay. This I like. This is getting there. I'm digging this. A good way to critic yourself positively. Yeah. I mean, I'm an artist. I'm always criticizing myself for everything I do. But in my personal experience with life, I like to improve on the things that I'm never really satisfied with just the norm, so to speak. I'm still on the skirt layer, you fool. We're gonna go on top of the skin. We're gonna paint her hair. Luckily, her hair is a pretty simplistic black. It does have some gray streaks in there, but we're gonna worry about that later. Kind of like the special effects. We'll do that pretty much last. Not exactly last, but like this will be the last part of the color that I'm going to worry about. We're just going to mostly paint it black. But let's see. What if I do the opacity this way? That way it's a little easier to see. Okay. But sometimes if the color is too dark, it's really hard for me to see. So I try to make it lighter. That way I just cover the basis of the color. And then I will darken it with either the Hsv, or in this case, since I just lowered the opacity, I will raise the opacity later. And for those of you who don't know, opacity is just how see-through is the color. So for example, over in this bar, I could raise the opacity up to 100%, which means it's totally solid, or anywhere in between that and 0%. That means it's half see-through, and 0% means you can't see it at all. It's just how see-through is the color. And so you'll also see the color that's on top of. It'll change the skin to a darker skin. And you can use that trick for, you know, other types of painting. Like, for example, I tend to use opacity on metal surfaces. I use opacity a lot on backgrounds to give it some more texture. Like, whatever I'm painting over it, I'm adding more texture to it. That sort of thing. Yeah, back to that statement of critiquing yourself. Yeah, so in my opinion, I would like my life to be based off of improving myself in whatever it is that I do. Like, for example, art is very easy metric to use that for. Set healthy goals. For example, I want to get better at storyboarding. What does that mean? Well, how about I want to get faster at Storyboard Pro? Or I want to be able to use cameras in Storyboard Pro more effectively. Or I want to have more cohesive action sequences that doesn't have knee-jerk reactions from myself when I watch it. Like, it's not jarring to watch. I want more smooth action sequences that I can be. Stuff like that. I like to take most things in my life and not everything, of course. Like, I try to do that with cooking. Try to do that with... What else do I do that with? Mostly just art and cooking. At least as far as I can think of at this point. Because that's pretty much all I do. I work and I cook and I sleep. That's it. Yeah, for most things that I do, I try to improve that. Oh yeah, I lift weights, duh. A thing I haven't done in like a week. When it comes to weightlifting, I try to do a certain weight, for example. Like, I'll set a goal. This year, I want to get to a bench press max of 300. Not literally, but that's an example. And I would take whatever max I have, and I'll slowly build that up over that year to get to where I want it. That's another thing. I forgot that I weightlift. I haven't done it all week because work has been nuts. I should probably go tomorrow. I'll have time to. That's another thing I want to get better at, time management skills. Like, especially since I started picking up YouTube and streaming and all that stuff, I need to have a better grasp on time. But hey, in my opinion, life is half about self-improvement. The other half is about enjoying life whenever you can, how you can. As long as you're not hurting nobody. Everything kosher. So after we do the hair, I'm going to adjust her skin, because then we'll have the base colors of the majority of her character figured out. Skin, hair, shirt, skirt. And I want to balance those out to where those are matching and everything else will fall into place. I didn't color her ears. Such a fool. I'll hit those in a bit. So what I might do is, if I don't finish the base colors on stream, I'll do those probably off camera. That way we can start with the special details and all the effects and stuff for the next. Because you guys pretty much get the gist of this. I'm literally just coloring between the lines of this. Sometimes painting doesn't really get much more simple than this. You can see a Bob Ross or not a cartoon, a Bob Ross show broken down in 22 minutes. You can get a whole landscape painting done in that amount of time. That is nuts. I mean, I'm assuming it's edited, you know. But still, imagine if you can do a whole painting in 22 minutes. That is a straight up speed painting, right? You know, I actually stopped believing artists on Twitter that say they do speed painting in like an hour, like a full blown masterpiece in an hour. I'm like, no, you didn't. You're just saying that. It's like people can say whatever they want on it online, and there's no way to. It's like, have you guys ever heard of the comedian Randy Feltface? He is a, I don't want to say puppet because the puppet community is weird about that. He's like a Muppet, I guess. He is a felted friend, as some puppeteers like to say. He's a puppet. And he's really funny. He's an Australian-based comedian. And for one of his specials, he ended the punchline pretty much by saying, like, all comedians lie and they cannot be trusted. And that ruined me. All, like, comedy specials, even though I'm laughing at it, it's like, did that even happen, though? Because they're storytellers. They're there to make you laugh and make you enjoy the moment. Not everything has to be true, but now I was in this happy little naive little headspace where it's like, yeah, that has to have happened. This guy has a crazy life. That's funny. It's like, no, he probably just made us, audience. Why'd you do this to me, Randy? I'm like, God, it could be the same about some of these artists out here. It's like, oh yeah, I did this in an hour. I'm like, that's impossible. How did you do that in an hour? No way. Record it, have timestamps. I don't believe you. Where are the receipts? I used to actually care about that when I was in college. Now that I'm a quote-unquote professional artist, I don't care. Do whatever you do. Love him. Yes, I dig the purple heart there for Randy. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinion for a lot of things. The older I get, like, you could do whatever you want, say whatever you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Obviously, just you do you. It doesn't matter. I mean, not that it doesn't matter. It's fine. I need to mute notifications on my phone. I'm using my phone to read chat because I can't see chat otherwise. I normally have two screens when I stream. That way I have the chat box open as well as Streamlabs open. But the way I'm doing my painting is I can only have one screen on at a time because I only have well, I have 3 ports. I really wanted to stretch this out, spend more money. I have 3 ports for a screen, so I can potentially have 3 screens instead of 2. But technically my tablet counts as the second screen. Completely blank. Specifically. So I can't look at chat without looking at my phone. I need to look at like how other streamers have their chat setups. Because normally if I'm playing a game, the chat is on my right side, so I just glance over whenever I see it. But here I have to look at my phone and then messaging me, and it's like, no, I'm streaming, don't message me. They don't know. Like, my friends know I'm streaming, but they don't know I'm streaming. Does that make sense? We're almost there with the tear. Or this her, as my mom used to say. H-U-R-R. Her. Look at that, we're almost done with her hair. It's wonderful. I don't remember when I tilted this picture. But I'll take it. No! I did too much work for you to mess this up. I'm just gonna erase this over here. I'll figure this out one day. I literally just think it's my hand placement. I just gotta figure out how to place my hand. And also just get a better chair. I have like a normal basic chair. I don't even have a computer chair with the rolly wheels on it. I just have like, what would you even call this? It's not even a folding chair. It's like just a basic chair. 4 legs. Barely a back on it. So my posture is terrible on this. And like I keep procrastinating actually buying a proper office chair / computer chair. Like I could spend my money on other things, like my car needs oil. Get a chair later, you don't need it. Fine, you're back. Fine. Carefully erase. Yes. Carefully. And not accidentally click the delete button and lose an entire layer. That's why undo is a wonderful button. Especially if I figured out I'm painting on the wrong layer. I am on the correct layer, right? Cool. I didn't name. We're gonna name this hair. Or her. There we go. Her. Since I mentioned my good old mama. Okay, we're pretty much good with the hair for now. Should I erase this part where the hammer is? I don't have to, but I'm gonna. No! Accidentally erase some actually. You actually look kind of cool with this shade of blue, honestly. But that's not how we're gonna leave her. I forgot the ears. I'm gonna color the ears real quick. Not the little jewelry, but the ears. No, that's hair. What am I doing? Stop it, me. There we go. Eardrop for the ears, and then we're just color the skinny. So she has like this metal bangle, little doodad on her ear. I have a theory that her actual ear is a round tip ear because she claims to be human. Before, you know, the incident. And so what if this just makes her ear look like an elf? Or someone of elven descent? Because it's just an attachment that makes her ear pointy. It's not even her actual ear. A mystery. You know, her skin is actually underneath the hair, so I don't even have to erase this. But whatevs. We're gonna erase it because I actually need to erase the hair on this little ear tip. But then again, that's gonna be gold, right? I don't have to color that at all. So I'm not. I won't. Looking good so far. I kind of dig this. All right, so we are going to save. And then we are going to adjust the skin as well. We're going to get that blue out of here. So we're going to decrease that saturation. See how she's more just normal gray now? And then we're going to increase the light. A little bit of it. That's good. That's fine. I like that. And then we're going to increase the opacity of the hair. Maybe lighten it up a little bit, because when I do black hair, I tend to make it too black. And so what I like to do is I like to make it just slightly gray. Just slightly. We don't want it absolutely black. We just want it like off black. You know? Like, let's see. If I do the teardropper, where does it show up on the little thing over? Oh, So instead of it being totally black like this, we have it sort of off black. Like that. Sort of. It wasn't the right color, but you guys get the picture. It just reads better, especially from a distance, because if it's just straight up black, it looks funny. Let me show you guys real quick. Just Hsv Adjustment. Absolute darkness. See, it doesn't really read as well. You know? It's just kind of like a blob of black. Whereas here, and I may make it just a tad darker later, especially when we start splashing that that white mark on there. It just looks better as off black than totally. So we're gonna color her eyes and brows in a second. Let's finish up her belt, her little accessories, and then let's color Pate. Good old Pate. So we're gonna color her belt because that is the one that is sticking out to me the most. So it's going to be above her top and above her skirt. Or, to keep up the theme, I'm going to have it between. So I'm actually going to use this top. Little line here. Then I can color that as well. But if I want to be smarter, I can put it on both and the skirt. That way, all I have to do is clean up these lines. No, go away. Why did you do that? That way I can just clean up all these lines here. Dang it. Stop it. I have a dumb pinky. That's the problem. My pinky keeps touching this. So if I get rid of these, I can just go crazy with the belt color. I don't have to worry about coloring over the line. Damn it! Go away. There we go. So that way I don't have to color. I am so flustered. That way I don't have to worry about coloring over the lines, and I can just go ham with its belt color. Then I don't have to worry about it. Then I can just color and just have fun. I'm still the Yeah, I think if I don't make it in time before 9 o'clock, I think I'm going to just keep streaming just to finish all the flesh. So we may go over our 2 hour. If you guys can't stick around for the 2 hours, don't even worry. This will be on the VOD for later. And on YouTube later as well. Because for me personally, I can't really watch 2 hour streams. Even if I have them on in the background, I like the ability to rewind if in case I miss something. So I don't really watch things live anymore. I wait until they have the VOD out. That way I can take time, I can rewind, I can pause. I always like that feature more so than being there live and interacting. I personally don't need to interact with the creators. I appreciate them, and they don't need to know that I appreciate them. That's fine. I mean, it probably would be nice for them, but they have other people that can do that. And yeah, so if you don't like to catch the streams live and you prefer the VODs, I feel you. I'm in the same boat. So never feel bad if you have to either pause or exit out early or dip out of the stream. Don't even sweat. Or if you miss whole streams too, totally fine. Watch what you want. I'm just grateful that people are here enjoying it in any capacity that they prefer to. I almost had it. I almost had a perfect run here. Boom. No. So if you guys notice, my lines are not perfect. My painting is not perfect. These things are not 100% crisp, but they're crisp enough. Maybe I should fix that. That's enough. they're crisp enough, you know? So it works out. Now, go back to character model. So the belt seems to be made primarily of two things. Oh no! Did I lose the little buckles that I made before? Did those not save? Dang it! I made belt buckles before, and I'm noticing that they're not here on the original. Ooh, okay. Let me see if I can quickly draw those in. Extra. I don't think I saved it. At least not properly. So they went away. So I'm probably gonna have to save this line art over. What was that? No, we don't want that. Like the way. Yeah. Have a little bit of. Here. Same. Oop. Same. Fastener here. I don't like how bendy that is. That's what I want people to say about my art when I'm dead. Just, yeah, it's good enough. I'll be like, yes! And wherever my grade. I would love to, like, rig some kind of electrical system in my headstone and some kind of mic, so whenever anyone likes my old stuff, whether it be on Instagram or YouTube, whatever, it just picks it up and just says yes, and just freak people. Okay. We're all cut up now. We got the belt figured out. So what I'm going to do, for sanity's sake, I'm going to turn all these off again. Save as. Then save that as line art once more. Save over it. Yes. That is. Bring the color back. Let's hit that belt. So the bottom of the belt itself seems to be dark brown. So kind of like with the hair, we're going to make this off. So mostly a gray. And because we're going to be underneath skirt, we can just go ham. Color all of this. And not have to worry about a. And then when we do that, we're exposing ourselves to a little more of that red, that little burgundy color that she's got. We can fix that in a. I'm going to go back to the top. a little bit closer. Erase. Decision. No! I didn't want that. It's fine. No! It's too big. I need to make it smaller and zoom in more. There we go. That's what I like to see. See? Dang it. There we No! We were so close. And my stupid glove hit the root. There we go. Alright. Let's save it again. No, not that way. We're gonna save as. Save it as a Krita thing. Not as a PNG. There we go. Okay, cool. Look at that. Looking good. We're getting there. Coloring and painting is a long, slow process, and I underestimated how long it will take. But we are getting there, and that... okay, so we got the belt. At least that black underpart. Let's get the actual... So browns are always hard for me. Let's get the... Oh no, the sneeze is coming back. Hold on. Ah, there we go. Conceal, don't feel. So with the brown, I tend to make them the wrong color. So we are probably going to hit it with Hsv. And this is probably going to be one of the most precise parts of this piece. Especially when we're coloring crap. Especially when we're coloring the bottle. You know what I also noticed? There's a little bit of dissociation that I have with these paintings and my keystrokes. Or not my keystrokes, my brush strokes. Because I'm painting essentially on my lap. My tablet is on my lap. I'm not even looking at my hands. I'm just looking at the screen. And I'm not used to that anymore. I used to be able to draw like that all the time with my Intuos tablet. And I did that for a couple of years until I think I lost it or I broke it. Or I just upgraded. I honestly don't remember. But that's the way I would draw on that because it did not have a active screen. It wasn't a Cintiq or anything. And so I'm kind of like back in that zone. I've been spoiled by my Cintiq because like how you see the screen now is exactly how I used to draw. Like I would draw directly onto the screen. And so my hand-eye coordination was way better. Like the what's the word I'm looking for? See, mindlessly, I don't paint in the lines whatsoever. I have to focus so hard for that. Let me see. What if I wrote? Oh, it is rotated already. What if I rotated some more? That help me? This help me? Ooh. All right. We're banging on all cylinders now. No! All right. But yeah, go away. I have a little bit of dissociation with the paintings on the desktop. Because when I try to hook up my little tablet to it, I thought it would act like a second screen. It doesn't. It just acts like a touchscreen. Which is not the worst thing, but I want to use the screen that it comes with. That's what it's made for. But beggars can't be. I'm in beggar status as far as these streams go. I'm not choosy right now. Whoa! I did not tell you to zoom in. Why'd you zoom in? But yeah, as we keep going, and I keep figuring out all these little techniques, I can maybe figure out how to touch screen. Hopefully it's not. But with all things get easier. Practice. No! Stop it. Stop doing the thing. What time is it? 8:47? Yeah, it's almost been 2 hours already. That's crazy. Just been in the zone this whole time. But yeah, for the most part, we got our flats figured out. We just got to get Pate and her accessories. But yeah, I'm going to go over the 2-hour streaming mark for this because I want to get these flats done. Just look, we're almost there. We pretty much got the flats figured out. We just haven't done the eyes or anything. The eyes, the hammer, and the belt and pate. So those aren't going to take forever. If anything, I'll just shut up and stop talking and just do all the drawing. All the painting. What is happening with that? Stop it. I'm so focused on this gosh dang belt right now. Where'd my mouse go? There's my mouse. I'm gonna erase that little strip. Like errors and all, I want this belt done. I feel like I was like that the last stream too. This belt was giving me issue. I don't even care about the lines anymore. Okay, I care a little bit. And then let's just clean this. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Look at all these little errors on. Oh no, the mouse is doing that thing again. There we go. Did I fix it? Yeah, I fixed it. There we go. We're getting that belt figured out. Then on a separate layer, I'm gonna. Is it silver? Let me look at the original. Yeah, it's a silver buckle. So we're gonna go with the gray. Gray. And we're gonna do all the metallic parts of the belt. It's a simple gray. Stop it, tablet. Ooh, you're gonna get it, tablet. You're gonna get it so bad. You're being gratuitous, tablet. Stop it. I've never been called obtuse before. I don't even know how that's an insult. That's probably like an old English put down. You, sir, being obtuse. Fighting words. It's like words we don't use anymore, like nincompoop or ninny. Those are always fun words to think about. Like back then there were like some intense insulting words, but today they're just goofy. All street cred by saying them. I think I spent like 20 minutes on this dang bill. Okay, I'm just gonna accept it. This is just happening. This is my life now. Those little streaks will... Are you serious? You came out when I didn't even use a stroke. Okay. Sure. Now you're just being sassy. Okay, sweet. The belt's done. For now. So with belt with all the pouches and stuff. Ugh. I don't know if you guys could hear that on mic. I had to crack my bones. Actually, how about once we hit the 2-hour mark, I'm going to take a quick break and get me some water. I feel like that would be reasonable to do. Great. Stretch my leg. Hit it once more. Ah, the skirt's up there. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're probably gonna darken this in a second. There we go. Press, prog, slow it. Got a little more over here. Pate. Excuse me, it's close to. And then just darker, accurate. Ouch. A little more. See what that. Yeah, I can. Covering pate in all the colors. All the tan. Oh, come on. I only wanted like 2 strokes. Why do you gotta mess me up like that? Okay. I don't like how that pouch matches up color-wise, so let's go to Adjustment. Darken this bad boy up. Ooh, there we go. I like that. That works. I'm not gonna worry about the button right now. Let's see. Let me check this part. Let's see if there's any weird. Just normal stuff. So I'm going to put another layer on top of that. Make it just dark color, dark gray. We're just gonna color. Seems to be red thread. We're gonna color the thread. I don't know what. You know what? Fine. I'll keep it. I'll leave you here. I don't care how much you mess up. You're not going to stop me from finishing this sewing kit. Ah! Why is it that when I yell at you and I accept you, that you stop doing things? Okay. So, this one, it is red. Red. How am I gonna do? Make this an arrow. There we go. So this inner circle, the red thread. The innermost circle will probably just be blank. Then the outer circle would be like the cork. Okay, and then let's add the little pork. I kind of like that hand that I used to have, the pouch at. I'm gonna repeat. So many happy little accidents. I know, that's like the name of the stream game for me. If it's not a happy little accident, it's not a stream for me. The goal is to limit those happy. Everything goes according to plan. But in life, nothing ever goes according to plan. At least for me. Always gotta adapt. Be flexible. Then everything will work out fine. Am I on the same layer as the red? I am. You know what? Let's roll with it. I don't care anymore. This is a pretty solid brown anyway. I think we should be fine. And if it ain't... Oh, Lord help me. No! See, that I cannot stand on the same layer. If you're physically covering my other colors that are on that same layer, I can't with you. Can't. Messing it up for everybody else, color. You messed up the reds. Reds ain't do nothing to you. We'll eventually make it around the get there. I believe coloring her eyes would be super simple. You go back, you. We don't have a lot left for Laudna. I think we have like her eyes and her nails, and then pate, of course. Or maybe I should say pate for another stream. Like save all of pate specifically for the colors. But nah, because I tend to post what we do during stream, and I'd rather post everything rather than having to take. Yeah, we're almost there. We have little gold bits, her hammer, pate, which it also little scissors. Save pate for last though. Alright, so also her teeth. I'm going to take a wee bit of a brick. Probably no more than 5 minutes. And we will be back. More painting. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Be right back. Hello. I am hydrated. I've stretched. Good to go. And we are good to go. We just have a little more to do. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a gander what we have left. We have pate. We have the little scissors beneath pate. And we have her general accessories. You know, eyes, brows, teeth. So let's hit these accessories. So we have her skin and we have her hair. We're going to put the accessories over both of them. Both? B-O. So they are golden. This is a gold enough color. We can make it more saturated later. I'm gonna cut that real. I may try to make this a little mess here, that way we get this done faster. I don't want to keep you guys for too. Because it is late where I'm from. Sure, it is late where you're from. Whoa, I accidentally clicked off my window. Go back. There we go. Because I know there are a few people who watch the YouTube channel on other hemispheres that's not the Western Hemisphere. There's some Australian viewers, some German viewers, some UK viewers. But I don't know if they watch the streams. They're definitely on the YouTube. I appreciate it, which is pretty sweet. When did you switch color? Why did you switch to the black color? I did not ask such a thing. There we go. Back. Now again, these colors don't need to be perfect. They don't need to touch on every, especially once we zoom out, pretty much. Less so micro. We're getting there. And then we're gonna do this. It's gonna be total complete. There we go. Hey, it's looking good, you guys. Alright, let's do that hammer real quick. Looks like the hammer's gonna be. Let me pull up the line once more. Hammer's just plain black and silver. I'm gonna make a handle dark. Crap. And then the actual hammer itself is slight. Oh. Okay, so this is kind of a conundrum. I can't make it too dark, and it'll blend hair. Unless I go further beyond and make it even. Yeah, that seems like a feasible idea, me. Thank you, me. There we go. I can work with that. And roll with this. Let's zoom in to make sure that we're a little more precise with our color. That way there's no glaring white spots sticking out. And same here. Doing it, baby. Doing it. Rotating. And I do the little right click trick. There we go. Now, been fixed. Sweetness. Then, the hammer is just going to be. Yeah, that works. This works. Oh no. Reddit X. It's too dark. Let's make that. That's. Well, look at that, you guys. We're practically there. Gotta finish up pate. Her face. Did I put the streak in? How complex is hers? It's not that. I think I'll probably hit that after pate. Okay, so let's go above the skin. I'll name these layers later, probably off camera. I'm just gonna do my thing for now. So for eyebrows, I like to match the hair and then go darker. Because eyebrows that are exactly the same color as the hair is a little awkward to look at, in my opinion. A little offset, good to go. Eyebrows. What color are her? White and straight up black. Very void-like. Ours is a little more lifelike. So for the whites of the eyes, I don't like to do straight up white because white looks sort of like straight up black does. So I tend to do an off-white. Very, very, very faint gray. Erase all this stuff. Yeah, sure, let's just do this whole eye. No, we're not doing you. You can go away. We're gonna do this side. The cable to my microphone briefly touched my leg and freaked me out just. Okay, then another layer of that. We're gonna get dark. Not all consuming. Not all consuming. We'll have to do later. Even erasing that weird. Stop it. I don't need to be wrestling with you. Pin command. Gonna be because the void. is it with this left eye? Or this right eye? Do the thing that I don't like to do. Stop it. Stop doing the thing, please. Maybe because I'm leaning my hand over. Left hand side. Hey, look, the square is back. Hello, square. Yeah, those are some real dark eyes. And then we are going to get her teeth. And just like eyes, like the teeth, going to be and we're going to do the lipstick and eyeshadow and all of that. Another stream. I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to color her lashes and the line art. Placed. Because that's not good. We can make that just straight. Oh, look at her. She's almost complete. Now, honestly, all this left is pate and scissors. Let's do the scissors first. We're going to scroll back down. Skirt. Oh, we're going to above the skirt and direct below the belt. And again, I'm going to rename these layers. Because look at all these. These are really hard to follow, right? Easy for me to follow because But if I was to pass off this to someone else and be like, hey, can you finish this for me? They'll be like, what even is this? Like, is there any order to this chaos? I'm like, there's order. A little bit. It's controlled chaos. Oh, thank you, T-Fiend. He is looking quite snazzy. And hey, thanks for sticking around for this long. This is a very long stream compared to what I normally do. Appreciate it. Oh, big fat thing. Stop it! Stop doing the thing. Okay. Pate. The pate is mostly going to be like one solid color. May make his legs, but I want his fur to be like a purple, dark purple. Hopefully it won't clash with the skirt. Oh, it's clashing with the skirt. Alright, what if I do like lighter purple? That actually works. This works. I like this. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But I do like this. No! Why do you do this to me? You know what? Fine. We're just going to color outside the lines. Is that how you want it, computer? Is that how you want to play? I'll do it. I'll play that game. I'll play it. And then we're just going to erase all the things. And just try to clean this up as much humanly can. All is going to be different. No! The belt. The belt is blocking Pate. Make him. Okay, sends the belt. No! I'm going to try to prevent all of these errors as often as possible, specifically. Ah! I unplugged my tablet. Don't give up on me now. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep my hand as stiff and as rigid as possible. That we prevent all of the errors messing with. I know rats have like flesh-colored hands and feet, but I could also say this is a stylistic choice. And my rats have fur. I don't know, we'll see. I'm definitely going to leave that decision. Yeah, this is taking it out of me. Ugh. It's like I'm trying to go at like a fast pace throughout. Same time like I normally would. Or at least in a more controlled setting. Not that complaining or anything. was trying to move a bit there. Technology works when it. No, that's not what I want. Don't ruin this for me this late in the game. Stupid lazy hand. Touching the screen when I wanted to. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave Pate just solid color aside from the doll. And just hit the feet and not tomorrow, Nick. Besides, good art is good. Take it in. Probably I could duplicate the painting on the tail, change the hue of that. Because coloring tail is a pain in the hand. You need a appendage that comes to a fine point. So I can't even draw a straight line, paint a straight. I'll draw the straight line. Okay. Struggle, but paint this. Crap. Can't do it. I mean, I can. Terrible at it. I can do this with very success. Post. It's there. Ooh, sweet. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this. Then erase everything but the tail. Add like key. I almost had it. I almost had it. It was almost perfect. Why would you do this to me? The betrayal. Et du tablet. Okay, so from here, filter, filter. There we go. Just H. Make this thing bright. Let's make. Maybe not that bright. Would be here. There. Maybe more flesh. Yeah, that's the stuff. And then do the same to your fur. Make it a little less saturated. That is working right. Oh, I did that to the. What's wrong with me? Okay. Look at that. Look at that, you guys. Look at Pate coming around. Give him a slightly gray skull. some black hole eyes. Can call it a day from there. That's a purple skull. That's not what I want. I'm probably gonna brighten the skull up after. Why? Why would you do that? Can you tell I'm being loopy now that I've been working for hard? Working too long? I think that's why I like these streams at the 2-hour mark. That's right before I start getting... So that break did help tremendously. Out rotating, please. Ah, what I want. Go. And that was all on me. That's I'm okay with error I make on purpose. On purpose. God, how would I even describe these? In a while, I haven't saved it in a while. Kicking myself. Let me lighten his skull. Right. I think that's pretty solid for now. You know what? Let me fix that. Too loud for me. Saturate that. This is also the benefit of having all the colors flattened out. That way I can balance them out so that one doesn't overtake the others. Or that pretty much spells out the whole statement right there. And then before I go, let me just put a slight button on this little. Even it all. It's a little button. Bring it all home. Little tiny button. And okay. No. The little hammer is bugging me. I need to make that lighter. I'll be at this all day if I don't stop here, though. Go. And then the handle. See what I mean? I don't know when to stop. It's fine. Lighter. To compensate. Compensate. No, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let's just go back. That slightly lighter. It's just a smidge. There we go. Alright, we're done. I'm not touching anymore. We're done. Okay, so this is where we're at with Laudna right now. Happy guys. She's getting there. Okay, cool. So we're gonna pick this back up. Ooh, I don't like that red. Forgive me. Ah, it's too saturated. There we go. Okay, so we made a lot of progress today. I'm very happy with this. Yeah, so next time we are going to do more details. So we're going to add the makeup, we're gonna add some shine to it, we're going to add some lighting, some shadows. We're going to put her nails on, her eyeshadow. We're going to experiment on coloring the lips. We're really going to bring it home next time, as well as the final little pieces of shirt. So it's really going to start popping next time. Also, I'm not going to end the stream until we do the little strings that so look forward to that. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, thanks for sticking around, you guys. I know this was a longer stream than normal, but I appreciate you. And if you're watching on the VOD and it took you a couple tries to get to this point, I appreciate you even more. Stuck it out. So happy about that. So thanks for watching. And see you guys next time. Bye-bye.